they're kind of looking for a product, they have something in mind, they're typing it in, and then they're going to see results. So when they're on their phones, awesome. Okay, well, it is 11 o'clock, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to share my screen first. Let's see, this one right here. Okay. So this month, I am very excited. We are going to talk about something that I think a lot of people kind of think about in the back of their minds, but it's not something that is always at the forefront. There's a lot of things that are really, I would say, foundational to Amazon. And this is kind of one of those, not taking things to the next level, like another level. So I think that this will be very, very helpful for you. And I've got a lot of good things to share and a lot of things that are also going to give you ideas for really taking advantage of mobile shopping that a lot of brands are not even thinking about quite yet. It's only usually those top sellers at brands that are really thinking about things like this. So I'm really excited to share this with you. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. If you don't already know me, I'm Becky with Fluency, and I am going to, let's see. A lot of you have already heard this, so I feel like I don't need to take too much time, but you can see here we've had over 5, now it's coming up on 6 years of experience with Amazon specifically. That is kind of our focus on what we work on. That is what we study. That is what we're watching trends to see what's happening, what's changing, what's shifting. And we've helped manage over 6 million in Amazon sales, and that's obviously an ongoing growing number. And just like I said, between our team, tens of thousands really, of experience on the marketplace, studying it, we are not focusing in on a lot of other different areas like outside of Amazon. So we're aware of what's happening in the e-commerce world in general, but our focus and our studies are really based around Amazon. So I think this is going to be very, very helpful for you when I share today. And you can see the rest of the stats here as well. So how do you capture attention of shoppers on their phones, right? There's a lot of different things that you can do, but I'm going to share with you a few things. So one of the first ones is if you are advertising, you may need to bid more competitively if you want to be seen higher up in the searches. Now, Amazon has a new metric within their advertising console that is very helpful if this is something that is important to you to look at as a measurement. And it's the top of the search impression shares. So you are looking to see how many of your ads are actually being shown on the first page. Most people, just like with organic, are not going beyond the second page. Sometimes they will, occasionally, if they're really, really trying to dig for something. But most shoppers, they'll literally type something in. They're kind of looking for a product. They have something in mind. They're typing it in, and then they're going to see results. So when they're on their phones, remember, they're seeing less advertising sponsored products show up than on desktop. So you want to make sure that your advertising is actually at the top of search. So look to see that metric within your advertising console. If you are already running ads, that is going to be a helpful metric for you to look at. Something else, as you noticed when I showed the example of when you typed in lemon squeezer on your phone and we walked through what it looks like on mobile, the sponsored brand ads is a huge placement on mobile as well as desktop. Obviously, we already knew how important it was on desktop. You've seen a lot of examples of it, but just look at that placement again. If you go back a page on your phone, that is a huge, huge placement. They're getting a very large image of, some kind of image that they're adding in there, usually like a lifestyle with the product in there. And then they're showcasing you can see the 2, you have to scroll for the 3rd. But that is a huge placement on phones. So on the phones. So when I look at it, that's basically taking up half of my screen. So depending on how large your phone is, then it kind of might look a little different. But for my screen, it's taking up about, I would say, roughly half. Just about half of my screen is that sponsored brand ads. It's kind of hard to avoid. So if you are not already utilizing sponsored brand ads, now remember, you have to have that registered trademark if you don't already. So you definitely want to be running those. And then you also need to see where are those placing your ads. Once again, that kind of goes to that metric, digging in a little bit more to the top of search impression shares for your sponsored brand ad type. So really digging into that, figuring out where are those showing up. Another easy way of doing that is just testing it out yourself as well. Incognito kind of thing mode on your computer or on your phone and seeing are your ads popping up on the first page. Another thing to really help with capturing people's attention on when they're shopping on their phones is going to be the product reviews, right? Same thing like with ads. When you see a 4+ star rating, it is going to be much more attractive for someone to click on that ad than for anything, 3.5 and under. It becomes a lot harder. There's usually a lot of issues that need to be addressed before it can really, there might be quality issues. There may have been shipping issues in the past, things that need to get figured out. So you really need to make sure that your product reviews are at a solid place. Typically 4 stars and up is most ideal. So because on phones, they are literally seeing that truncated title, and right under that, they see the reviews. They see how many reviews, which sometimes, for Lemon Squeezer, there's a crazy number of reviews, but a lot of times they're really looking more at that rating than necessarily the number. It's that amount of, has there been social proofing? Has there been a good amount of people that have left reviews, and have they had an overall positive experience with the product? Because if they haven't, they're going to probably keep scrolling on their phone and they're not going to even click. Another thing, and I've already mentioned this, is the title's truncated. So it's shortened on your phone when you're looking. So make sure that most important information that for people to understand what the product is at the front. Now, a lot of times titles are really important to add keywords that are getting good search volumes that are highly relevant. So, keep adding those things in, utilize as much as you can with the title that Amazon allows, but just keep in mind it is shortened. So does it make sense when you look at the shortened title when you're looking on your phone for your products and your listings? And another huge thing, and I always feel like I mention this, but FBA shipping, if you are able to fulfill it by Amazon, have Amazon fulfill it, you're going to get, a lot more people enticed to then buy. Okay, so we'll kind of take a brief little pause here, but I feel like there's still a ton of information. So think through so far, what have you learned and what have you noticed? So have you looked at any of your products on your phone before? Have you looked at your listings and what they look like? Have you looked to see what your ads, if you're running ads on Amazon, have you looked to see what they look like on mobile? If you haven't, that would be something to note. Check out a few of my top selling products on the phone today, on my phone, on my mobile device today, right? Look at that, see how it's doing. See what the title looks like to people, see what that experience is. And it goes back to the fact that how people are buying, and the trend is increasing of how people are using their phones. And that's where a lot of the traffic for Amazon is coming from now, more than half. So just keeping that in mind with how people are buying and shopping is important, because that is going to translate essentially to giving people the best experience for you to then have more sales, right? To convert better for your products and your listings.